I think about all these things, you know, about my people, or the people of this Aina. And that's my style. Like even for this, I put a lot of effort inside this and support these things. When we started this project, I promised the people I'm going to do all the legwork over here. That's what you see around here. That's why this place is nice and clean. I take care of this place just like my own house.
Wanted to come, and Hāʻena wanted them here, and the state needed to see it, the people needed to see it. I remember standing in the school when the hearing was just getting organized and getting started, and looking at that room full of hopeful faces.
I stand before you with my family in favor of the Hāʻena rules. I remember they always talking about my grandma Rachel Mahuiki, who was a well-known fisherman.
Small groups going up and testifying, sometimes a family group, sometimes another kind of small group. And the reason for that was they were holding each other up. They were all shaking.
The power back to the communities and to give the responsibility and the chance to take care of our own resources. The people of this ʻAuamo know their place better than any regulatory state agency. Please give us the opportunity to malama the resources of Hāʻena and to honor our kupuna and our mo'opuna. Lawaiʻa pono and mau.
The horses was my bicycle growing up. Simple. We never get bikes. And it's either going to walk or you can catch the horse and you can ride the horse wherever you want to go, like I told you guys, and then we let them go.
There were cattle walking on the streets, horses, herds of horses running around. And every car that went by would slow down and wave because everybody knew everybody.
1954, I got married. I get my family. 59, I came over here because my bill was kind of building up because the money was small. 65 cents an hour.
There was no free time like today, how the kids get free time, they can go. To go surf, we would be like, my dad would tell me, how do you cook the surfboard? How you gonna cook the surfboard? Is it good? Is it or no? So what kind of answer we could give him, you know?
This is at the end of the road on this island of Kauaʻi. We're 10 miles from the nearest police station. We're 10 miles, we're 35, 40 miles from DLNR enforcement. So whatever was going to happen here had to come from the community.
So I've only been here 10 years, but this whole thing started in the 90s when the kupuna got together with the makua of that time and said, we need to bring these things back. We need to bring back the ability for us to feed our families fish and poi. And so that was a larger concept that this community, a larger endeavor that this community tried to move forward on. But the Division of Land and Natural Resources is a bunch of divisions. So the community had to work with, figure out how to navigate relationships and the bureaucracy of state parks to get all this done.
The state acquired the land and evicted the people that lived on the land. There were several families that still lived here and that made taro patches here and they made their livings here. They were forced to leave through the process of condemnation. You know, they were given money, but it wasn't like the real estate market. The government chose the price and said, here's your money, you gotta leave. The Hui Makaʻāinana was tired of seeing the place just go to turning into just bush. And Thomas Hashimoto, who is one of our elders, he and his brother decided they wanted to come back here and clean the place up and bring the taro back into production. Many of us are fishermen. We wanted to know what we could do to help maintain and even better the fishery. We decided that we would make an effort to try to, like in the historic sense, traditional Hawaii, the ahupuaʻa extended out into the ocean, and the ocean was a part of this ahupuaʻa. It's different now. It's all considered state out there, a different place, but we decided that we would go to the state because aren't we the state? Government for the people, by the people. That's us.
This community is somewhat remote in the northern end of Kauaʻi. People out there still have a long kind of term connection and knowledge of that place. These are Native Hawaiian communities primarily. And so they've had a history knowing abundance and seeing it deplete over time. And not only do they have a history, but they come from a cultural tradition of noticing those changes because the community was much more involved in the management of their place.
So we were brought up throw net, old style, throw net, catching he'e, ʻAuamo when the sea's was just part of our life. Not they taught us, but that was just part of our life. So we live off the ocean.
Traditions of taking care of the fishery and having a really close relationship with the whole system. Hāʻena is one of the last places to do that. When we talk about ahupuaʻa restoration and the kupuna of this area, that's how they grew up, and so they know.
And I've seen the decrease in our fish, the different type of fish. First was the moi, because I used to go get the moi for sell and get money for educate my kids.
Their founding documents contain language about wanting to be able to bring back and have a role in managing the whole ahupuaʻa, which is the mountain to the sea, and that included their fishery. And other communities had started to affect state policy in regards to community-based management of fisheries. But over time, a law kind of came out of the effort, the initial effort in 1994, but those laws never really were implemented.
I was there when we first started events and meetings to start meeting with all the residents, all the families from down here.
Yeah, talking kupunas and the families of the place was important because we needed to hear their mana'o. Yeah, because sometimes it's how some things go ahead and then they never hear, and then going to get hamajang, going to get problems.
And then once we were all on board, then we started going, look, okay, we got to start talking to, some of the other stakeholders.
The Hui had ended up making a meeting so that we could bring those people, because that maybe doing scuba diving, the boaters, maybe other companies, not the community, but the businesses is where going to be conflict.
The first thing that came up is, okay, we have opportunity now to make rules for this place. And the community is like, okay, easy, one rule. If you're not from here, you cannot fish. Automatic, right? But, okay. We can't do that. But what we can do is say, for the people who come here, they have to fish like us.
To me, the most important thing is trying to communicate. I mean, try to talk to everybody. We're out here pulling taro, cleaning the taro patch, we're talking about it. Going home or whatever. Driving around and we see family or residents down here and trying to explain to people what we're trying to do. So it's just a lot of outreach, a lot of talking.
We had a really great experience. We had a dive tournament like a month or two ago to try and get invasive species out of get roi and ta'ape and stuff. So a lot of the divers from all around the island came, and they was telling us, yeah, at first when we heard about this, we heard that Hāʻena was trying to keep us out, and we're like, But once they figured out that, no, they're just trying to protect the place, and if you come here, you just got to follow our rules, they're like, yeah, well, that makes sense. We can support that, as long as you're not keeping us out.
You're not going to tell us we cannot go down there and fish. That's our right to go fish down there. You're not going to tell me I cannot come down Hāʻena and fish. I mean, we're not telling you not to come down and go fishing. But remember, it's not your right, it's a kuleana that you have take care of this place.
You know, and trying to pass a law that takes, 20 years, you have to continue to return to the community and the people you spoke to.
We're the first ones to enter into the process. And so nobody, either on the community side or the DNR side, knew how to do this.
So I think the critical thing about Hāʻena's relationship is that it has the opportunity, at least on paper, to work face-to-face and eye-to-eye with the Department of Land and Natural Resources rather than under their directives.
The process on its face is not that difficult. I think the actual human process and the politics that you see and you don't see really are the issues that cause this process to seem so challenging.
I had a politician tell me that when I told him about the meeting in Honolulu, he goes, yeah, but how many of them were voters? That's why it's really important that we do things and stand up for things and try not to be against something, and we find something that we can be for.
We submitted this rule package to the Department of Land and Natural Resources. That division took approximately 2 to 3 years to review those drafts and made many edits and amendments along the way. The actual public hearing was held in October 4th in Honolulu, and then that hearing went well, and then those rules were then kicked up to the BLNR to have a hearing.
It was the board meeting that we had in ʻAuamo. To go up there and face these people, it was really scary, but yet I kept myself strong to do it, and a blessing came through.
And Governor Ige made those rules law in August of 2015.
We always have the skeptics, yeah, and so I think all I had to do was just we got to prove it. No, yeah, now that this is only the first chapter.
But never let anybody tell you no can do. There's no such thing as no can do. Find one way. There is a way that you can progress.
Hopefully what we can do is expose our younger generations, our mopuna, our children, our children's children, into the things that we feel are important in this place and how to take care of the place. And by setting an example, by giving them an experience, maybe out of 10 of them, one will get hooked.
To be active, to be doing and not being a scaredy cat, because I am a scaredy cat. But no be scared. You have to just think of your kids, your grandchildren. You gotta think the future. They're gonna push you out there.
Because right alongside us, we have tourists streaming down by the thousands every day just to go swimming with their suntan lotion and their snorkels, who come here for a Disneyland experience, a fantasy experience, a vacation experience, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those of us that are the children of this land, we need to mālama this place and take care of it. The Hawaiian word, of course, is the Hoaʻāina, the people who are the friends of the land, which is what we were called, the people were called. Even before we were Makaʻāinana, we were Hoaʻāina, the companions of the land.
It's starting to happen already, and it's having the bodies here, the younger people getting involved, because I want to hand the torch over to the younger ones already.
There was a time that I would take us both far out to sea, riding the waves on a fiberglass boat made for him and me.
Oh, well, this is my home, really, and I love this place. I love this place, that's why I learned it well, so I could get all this information down to my family and the people that live in this area. And they're the beneficiaries, you know, those people. You know, whatever I pass on is going to benefit everybody in the world.
Song of a time when he and his father were one together. Here all alone on his fiberglass boat made for him and me.
I'm gonna die, I'm gonna be in my coffin smiling. You know, when my day is here, when Keako gonna call me, I'm gonna be smiling. Hopefully that's my dream. That's my dream.
Father and I would stay out all night. Those times will always remain in my mind forever. Oh, the fisherman's son, singing his song of a time when he and his father were one together. Then there's a time, so many things that I didn't say. Being with him, I knew back then that it was okay. Then on the eve of a beautiful day, he passed away, and I know he left for heaven.